Hello, how are you? My name is John from Launch Day. Thanks so much for joining us here in our little pretend virtual background office. Really appreciate you checking us out. We are Launch Day, a launch orchestration app for you and your team. And before we jump into this demo, what is launch orchestration? Why do we need Launch Day? We like to help teams like yours get to market, right? With product launches, we know there's a lot that goes into planning for them and aligning with the team and collaborating and then executing and actually get the launch done. And we can help with all of those things and really take the onus off of product marketers, product managers, teams that might be left to organize and herd cats in a lot of ways. So today we're going to show you the app. We're going to show you how we can help in the course of this 8-minute demo. Why an 8-minute demo? Because you can't demo something like this in 7 minutes. It's impossible. So we're going to do it in 8. All right. And with that, the clock is running. So I am going to share my screen and we can jump right in. Okay, so I'm at the Launch Day sign in and we are going to get a little meta here. I am actually going to play the role of a launch company called SpaceY. And you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, I haven't heard of them. We're a little bit better than SpaceX. Okay, so I'm John at SpaceY. I'm gonna log into Launch Day. We are looking to do some really neat things around literal launches here. And as you can see, I'm a new user, right? So I just signed up for Launch Day. Where do I go? Well, there's a few things that we would ask you to do before you get to creating your first launch event, which is really the heart and soul of our app. First is if you've got teammates, get them into the app, right? And in this case, obviously I am here, right? Because I have already signed up. I'm going to invite my boss named Elon, say Elon M, and that's Elon at spacey.com. Great. Invite the user. Elon's going to get an email. They are going to be invited to the app and they should be in here soon and can see everything that we can see and help collaborate on it. Okay, so next, if I go back to my home screen, it's going to ask me, well, I need to set up some personas, right? And these are just your classic marketing personas. And going to come in really important, come in really handy as we get into launching and creating that launch event. So I'm going to create a persona. I don't have any at the moment. And, you know, SpaceY, we're trying to get out into outer space here. We want to, we want to get to Jupiter, right? That's our important mission. Who's going to care about that, right? Well, there's a couple people. One is just your, you know, kind of a public persona or I guess space fan, right? Anyone out there who's following us and really interested, public interest in SpaceY. I'm going to go quick here for the sake of time because this is an 8-minute demo. Their responsibilities are to keep tabs on our company and form public opinions. Really important. Goals. What are the goals for this persona? They're really just trying to get excited about what we're doing. Their challenges. Now, let's leave it at that. Create the persona, and you're going to see we're going to have our space fan going from there. We give rides to super rich people who can take the shuttle ride up, and their role is adventure. Totally making this up. Responsibilities, really press their limits of travel. Their goals, be cooler than their friends. And their challenges, they don't have many. Create persona, and there you go. We got our super rich people and our space fans. Okay, and now what's the next thing we're going to do? The launch event, and this is really, as I said before, the heart and soul of what Launch Day can do. And as you can see, again, kind of a boring screen here because we haven't created anything. Let's create our very first launch event. What's the title? We want to get to Jupiter. SpaceX is only going to Mars. SpaceY, we're going a little bit further than that. Yeah, let's do it on the 1st of July. Abbreviation, we'll call it J21, Jupiter 21. Description. Okay, so here's really an important piece of the launch event. What are we trying to do? What are the components of this launch? We want to land on Jupiter as a first exploration. Until I'm not in this business. Desired outcomes. We want to be able to attract, I should say, attract investors for our trip to Saturn and dominate the news cycle. Now, here's where you and your business could put revenue goals, churn, retention goals, churn mitigation, retention goals, new leads, anything that you would track as an objective or an outcome for your launch. And then the launch template is important as well. Here I can build completely from scratch. So basically I have this empty shell of a launch event, which is fine. That might be the best for your business. Or you can pull from a template that's already loaded into the app. In this case, Launch Day comes with 2 that we've created. And then of course, if you had your own over time, you could add those too. But for the Launch Day template, we have a full product launch and a feature launch. I'm going to pick the full one just so you can see everything. And I'm going to hit create launch. And with that, we're up and running. We've got our first launch. It's called Get to Jupiter. We know what we want to do. We know why we want to do it. We know the launch day. We know the days until launch. And of course, we've completed nothing because we haven't started. And underneath this, you can see all of the different tasks that are going to go into making this successful. Now, of course, I'm picking a pretty comical scenario here of taking a shuttle to Jupiter. So some of these tasks wouldn't actually apply, in which case I can easily delete them. I can also go into my launch plan now and change around any of the items here that I might not like. As I said before, I can delete a task there. I can create, maybe we want a new web page for what we're doing, right? I can go back in and call that a priority 2. If we don't have it, it's not going to stop the launch. Maybe that one's in progress. Maybe this one I also want to give to my boss, right? Really important. And then the function that it belongs to. Sales presentation deck, right? We need to be able to pitch what we're doing. So we need a presentation deck. Yeah, that one's, and we need it well before the launch. We want to have that one by, say, June 1st. You can get the idea here of all the different things you can do to set yourself up for success by changing the different items in this launch. And frankly, we've built this for SaaS, B2B typically. It could work for any type of company, but these templates are loaded and you can see a lot around SaaS B2B. With FAQs, business case analysis, implementation guides, demo sites, messaging docs, what have you. Okay, I hit the save button and all of that is going to get saved in, and I have my items there. So a few things happened here. Another thing what we have now is with Slack integration, if I complete, let's say we have our press release and that's done, this can get saved up to Slack and I would get an update saying, great, your press release is done, and that gets flagged. Awesome. Now, anyone who has access to this, to our app under your organization can come in and see these items. They can see who's assigned. They can expand here to see actually more detail. So that's another option. And here's where I can also tie to a persona. Okay, so if I want this 5-point pitch only is going to apply to SpaceFan, I can set it here. I can also have an external link if there's relevant information that's outside of the app that I want to link to. Again, this helps with collaboration that anyone can find just about anything here. And you'd have all that information underneath with the ability to extend out to that link if you needed to. And everything's here. Now, of course, there might also be tasks that we don't have as part of our template that you want to add. That's also available. So, hey, I'm landing on Jupiter. I know we need a really cool quote when we get there, like, small step for man, giant leap for mankind. Come up with a cool quote. Due date, I want that by this month. Description. How do we sound awesome when we land? Owner. I'll give that one to myself. Priority, that's a priority 1. Current status, not started. Well, maybe it's in progress because we've been thinking about it. The persona matters for really anybody. We'll call it SpaceFan again. External link, there's no external link here. And I can create that task and it is going to show up. Oh, it wants a business function that is required. That sounds like a marketing type of thing. I'm going to call it marketing. And we're going to set that up so it's good to go. And probably at the bottom here. come up with a cool quote. Came up May 31st. And we'd have all that. If you want to sort, all the sorting is here as well, and upward and onward. The last thing I'm going to show you, okay, so now let's pretend that, fast forward through time, people are entering their items, people are filling out this document, it's going great. But I still want my boss, he may not log in every day, right? I want to be able to give my boss and maybe their boss and other executives or even other teammates an idea of what's happening. Maybe people who are around the peripheral of what we're doing here, they may want an update. So the other thing that we have as a big part of our launch here is what we're calling our weekly launch summary. And that's an email that gets generated from the system that just talks about a few of the things that are happening. So this is an example of that. The highlights, here's what we've completed throughout the week, here's what's been approved, all that good stuff. And here's a few areas of concern, right? The beta release is behind. We have something that is due next week but lacks an owner. Things that we might want to know as red or yellow flags so we're not in trouble later on. So this would get delivered to the launch owner or the launch leader to then distribute out if they so feel like it. And of course, you have your core stats here as well around the launch day and launch completion. So again, the name of the game for us is all about alignment, collaboration, and execution. We feel like having our app, the availability for your entire group to get to the app and see what they need to see. We do have Slack integration as well. As you can see here, this one got sent when we created or completed the press release for Get to Jupiter. So everything's here to help your team be as successful as possible. I hope this demo helped. I hope you're interested in Launch Day and we can work together. If you have any questions whatsoever, please visit our website, www.launchdayapp.com. That's www.launchdayapp.com. Or even better, email myself personally. Be happy to chat. It's john@launchdayapp.com. Thanks so much. Always be launching and appreciate your time. Take care.